Welcome to a midweek game one Clippers versus Nuggets preview. We're just kind of hanging out. It is happy hour. Welcome to Clips and Dip. I am Chuck Mockler. William Updike's probably going to be on. I believe Adam Oslin. We got a couple other people who are going to come hang out and talk game one against the Nuggets as well. If you want to watch us, you can find us at, I'm going to put this up on the pod channels later. If you want to find us on YouTube, it's youtube.com/@Clippers Podcast. Come hang out. It's a fun way to experience the pod. Oh my God. William Updike.
What?
Oh, look at this. And Justin Russo. Are you guys in the same house?
He's right over there.
Just hanging
out. Welcome, Justin. Thank you for coming through. Will, obviously, always good to see you on the pod. Should we start with the good news that Nick Batum is dunking in photographs for the Clippers ahead of the matchup? How big
is this? The explosive box jumps of Nick Batum?
Yeah, these are explosive real jumps from Nick Batum.
These are the mythical French leaping jumps that we've often heard of.
What's the French word for explosive? That probably has to be something beautiful that they say. Justin Russo.
Could be anything. No, I'm only French Canadian. I'm not full French, so you know.
I think the Batum thing's a good thing to start with, though, because we really saw how discombobulated this Clippers bench becomes without Nick Batum. Really, right? Like Russo, it's kind of night and day what this second unit can look like.
Yeah, it's quite different to kind of what they would expect and what you would expect the bench to end up looking like. Without Nico, things get a little, guys get overextended in ways that you don't want. And in a playoff situation, that can lead to a lot of problems.
Yeah, we saw them. Ty Lue talked about it today, how they told Ben Simmons they did have to remind him to shoot the ball. Will, you're pretty high on Ben Simmons in this series. How are you feeling about him as the backup five?
Loving it. I also like that he's they're using him as Jokic at practice. Perfect comp, 1 of 1. So yeah, I'm happy about it. No, I mean he did not look good the last couple of games. He's had only a handful of good outings. So it's worrisome, but Nick Batum kind of is the glue that can hold together some of these lesser lineups. So we'll see.
What was the Jokic alternative for the Drew Eubanks? Would they get the Shaq of Troutdale out there just running, just holding the ball like water polo and making reads?
The Australian
Shaw on stilts, okay?
Get Ty Lue on stilts. He played point. That's the perfect. Shout out to the Australian sensation Drew Eubanks,
who is not Australian but should be at this point.
I'm not the only one who thought that. We got Joseph Raya-Ward coming in. Joseph, how the hell are you?
Hi, guys. Hold on. Of course, I joined before connecting my headphones, so give me a second.
All right, no worries. We'll hide you. That way it's easier. Oh, wait, is he good to go? Are you good?
No, but that's fine. We're good.
We were just talking about Ben Simmons and how he really is the most important part of this series. Agree or disagree?
Yeah, I mean, he can't suck, you know?
That would be good, yeah.
Yeah, if he continues to suck, we got big issues. But if Nico is healthy, I will say it hides a lot of the Ben sucking piece of this.
He was healthy. He was dunking today in practice per what I assume are real photographs. Let's hope that
I don't know. Anything could be AI generated these days.
I didn't see the watermark. I guess, Joseph, since we have you, it's such a rarity to have you on the pod. What's your prediction for this series? Who's winning and in how many games?
Clippers in 6.
Okay. I like that. Russo, what are you at?
I haven't made an official prediction yet.
Oh, okay.
You're holding out.
Bated breath. You're waiting until game 4?
I waited until the end, so I'm never wrong. Like, who saw this coming from the outset, you know?
Will, are you going Clips in 6? It's a pretty popular pick among Clippers fans. There's like a humbleness to saying Clips in 6, I think.
Yeah, I think Clips in 6 makes sense. It could change depending on how high I am after like the first get on this team after the first game, but 6 seems reasonable.
6, it feels like the Nuggets are very good. They have Nikola Jokic. It's not going to, like, we know what's going to happen there. Zoo's a good defender against Jokic, but it's still Jokic. There's going to be at least 2 triple doubles from Jokic in this series, I think.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, they're winning in 6, so it has to be 2.
I mean, if there's 2, they might win in 4.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and I think they just got to. It's the whole thing, right? It's the same problem we had with Luka. Do you let him try and score 150 points, which I think they should probably do with Jokic, right? Like, they got to. I don't know, Russo. What do you think the Clippers, with their soft switching that everyone dislikes, are going to do with Jokic?
They got asked about this over the last 2 days of practice. Basically, like, would you rather Jokic be a passer or a shooter? And their whole thing is like, well, it doesn't really matter. You just can't let him do both. And so, which I think you have to let Jokic dictate what he wants to be at the outset of the game, and then just kind of just let him be just that, and then try not to give him anything else. It's a lot easier said than done. Let's be realistic. Like, it's like, oh, can you stop the guy who was top 3 in assists from getting 10 assists a game and also scoring 30 points? It's like, yeah, if it was easy, he wouldn't have done it. Like, the teams would have held him down all year. So, you know, it's tough. There's other factors, like some of his assists. I looked it up the other night. The top 3 assist duos in the league are in this series. James and Zoo led the league with over 200 assists from James to Zoo. And then the second and third highest ones, I believe, were Jokic to Christian Brown and Jokic to Michael Porter Jr. So as long as you can kind of curtail one of those, I like their chances on a game-by-game basis. You can't let him get everyone else involved. You can let him get Michael Porter Jr. involved. You can't let him get Christian Brown and vice versa.
Yeah. Oh. Joseph
I also don't think people realize, like, Christian Brown led the NBA in fast break points this year.
Holy shit, really?
Yeah, he ended a streak of 5 straight seasons that Giannis led the league.
That's insane. All right. Well, that's disconcerting.
But that's Jokic had the hit-aheads where he would hit Christian Brown on the outlets, and Christian Brown led like all guards and dunks this year. So, yeah, like, you just got to make sure. And that was a couple questions I asked Ty, and I asked Norman Powell today at practice about, you know, how do you keep Christian Brown specifically out of transition? And the whole answer is just, well, you just don't turn the ball over. But also, Jeff Van Gundy's done. Ty today said, in response to that question, Ty today said that it was the first thing Jeff Van Gundy went over yesterday, that it was just get back. You can't lollygag. And the phrase that he used was buddy walk. And basically, like, you're just trotting along with your buddy going down the street together. He's like, you got to actually run back. So, hey, they've talked about it. They even have a phrase. So I get to use that if Christian Brown gets out of transition and dunks. I get to say, well, they got caught buddy walking.
The buddy walk is good. That's being adopted by this podcast immediately. Will, what are you thinking about M's comment here? More of a pick and roll series, less iso ball. Make Jokic work every possession.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the idea. I think, though, like, it's still going to turn into iso ball, like what you saw in the Warriors series. Not that that's bad. I think that, you know, you're gonna mismatch hunt, and you're gonna put the ball in whoever has the hot hand and your best guy, and sort of hope for the best. I mean, that's sort of what some of these series that are a little bit more evenly matched are going to come down to. And I'm liking the Clippers in that scenario with, you know, the way that Kawhi has looked, especially as of late. Obviously, we also what Harden did in that Warriors game, so I'm feeling good about it. Like, but if you're expecting like a different offense, it ain't gonna happen.
New wrinkles. That's what it's all about, is these new wrinkles. Joseph, kind of to this pick and roll point, the third best Nuggets defender is going to be on Norm, which feels pretty good to me. What are you looking for from Norm in this series, other than to kind of generally just get it together a little bit?
I mean, obviously, I would love to have early season Norm show up in this series, because if the Clippers have early season Norm, they're a contender. Like, they're a real contender. However, I'll take something in the middle from 6-man norm to early season norm. Like hit open shots, be able to attack whoever it is that's in front of him off the dribble. Don't try to dribble sideways. Just go in a straight line norm. Do not try to go side to side with your dribble ever again. Just straight line drive
I like
to the
that.
basket, and I'll be happy. I mean, really, kind of to the point everybody's saying, this series is going to come down to whether or not the Clippers force the Nuggets to make the tough decisions that they should be forced to make. The Nuggets have a lot of imbalanced players and not a lot of complete players in terms of they can either do one side of the ball or the other. And they need to sort of put the pressure on the Nuggets to choose who they want to have on the floor and when. And the Clippers need to exploit those weaknesses on either end whenever it's possible.
Thankfully, they have a new GM soon, so maybe they can get some more complete players in the next couple seasons.
But no draft picks.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
They have no draft picks in this upcoming draft, so
Damn.
whatever.
Well, they'll buy us. How much does second round picks cost? $200,000.
Depends if you're over the apron.
Oh, that's right, man. This apron ruined everything. Honest owner can't even buy a second round pick anymore. What happened?
By the way, hold on a second. I know this is a Clippers podcast. Joseph, how about Arsenal today, buddy?
What the hell are you got? Get that
Let's
shit
go.
out of here!
Up the Gunners, baby.
What a great sports day this was.
Fantastic.
They beat Real Madrid, right?
They
Yeah.
killed the devil twice.
They did.
Like it's incredible.
They killed the devil. I think some Clippers fans might see this series as possibly killing the devil after what happened in the
Could be.
bubble.
It would exercise some demons, yeah.
I asked Zoo and Ty yesterday if, like, I preface it obviously, like, I know it's been 5 years and like a lot has changed. Neither of the head coaches from that series are even there anymore. And actually, the two head coaches in the series now were both on the bench for each team in that series as well. And I was like, the two centers are left, obviously, or technically the two superstars in terms of Jokic and Kawhi. Then on the Nuggets side, it's still Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. the holdovers. For the Clippers, besides Kawhi, it's Ivica Zubac, and I know people are going to laugh, but Amir Coffey's still here, so that counts. And essentially, like, a lot has changed, and they said like there's nothing you could take. But I do find it kind of somewhat ironic in a sense, or maybe fate, that their first post-PG series involves trying to get some revenge from 5 years ago in the first series, in their first deep playoff run with him. So who knows? Maybe if there's a basketball god, maybe it'll shine favorably on the Clippers in terms of revenge.
I'm not banking on the basketball gods to be friendly to the Clippers, because if they avenge this bubble loss, then we get to play the Nuggets, or not the Nuggets, sorry, the Thunder in the second round. Which,
listen, you're just running through all your biggest haters, okay?
And that's a very good point. Joseph, what else are you looking for in game one specifically? Because I know people say it's like a feel out game. There's all that stuff. Because the Nuggets haven't seen Kawhi this year at all.
Yeah.
Which I think is fun. I think that helps the Clippers. I mean, it's just body blows, basically. It's just going to be gross, good playoff basketball. I mean, in that respect.
I hope there are literal body blows to Jokic's body. Like, I really want to beat him up. I do.
True Eubanks. You got
5 years ago. That's what I'm saying. 5 years ago, I just wanted Joakim Noah to punch him in the sternum one time. That's all he had to do. We would have won the series. It didn't happen. Okay. I'm honestly, stop me if you've heard this before. I'm very curious how much Russ Denver plays. I know Adelman has been more quick to give him a hook in his coaching, resume so far, but I'm very curious to see what the Russ experience looks like, especially against the Clippers, who I'm sure he is trying to prove a point against. And I think that the more Russ is in this series, the better the Clippers' chances are.
Yeah, I think, chat, if you disagree with that, let us know. But I will say there's a flip side to that too, because, Will, correct me if I'm wrong here, there's going to be a bad Russ game. There's going to be a good Russ game. There's going to be a Russ game It's just how
I
it
think if
works.
that's what you're worried about, like a lot of things have gone very,
Yeah.
very wrong in that game. Like that
not
should
winning
be
them
such
the
a
game.
that should be such a non-factor.
Mhm.
That I'm not worried about it. It's either garbage time or we've made some terrible mistakes.
What are
Or a really positive thing, because if Russ is having a good game, that probably means Jokic never touches the ball because Russ is running from end to end, grabbing the ball and just getting shots up.
I was gonna ask, does anyone know what Russ and Jokic's numbers are together? I have to admit, pretty good because
In
it's
terms of
Jokic.
what, like their net rating?
17.
Yeah, 17.
No,
Okay.
when I checked, because I'm a sicko, they were the lowest amongst players who have played at least 200 minutes with Jokic. So Russ was still a positive. It was like +6,
Of course.
but everybody else was double digits in net above that. So yeah.
I know that for probably like the first half of the season, they were actually a massive positive together. And then there was like a shift that ended up happening. I don't remember. Honestly, I do not know what the shift was that caused it, but yeah, there was something
Russ
that
played
happened.
more. That's the shift.
Okay. I mean,
There's always the bump when he gets to a new team and it's going to be a whole new thing and he's buying into his role, and then it just
No,
comes back to the
it's
wrong thing.
okay. All right, Russ, you're going to play 18 minutes. Oh, those 18 minutes went well. What if we tried more minutes? And then it just doesn't go well, because the more chances he gets, the more shots he's going to miss, the more turnovers he's going to have, the more fouls he's going to commit.
I will say, over the course of a season, 1,300 minutes, they're still +8 in net rating with them both together, which, I mean,
Went back up.
it's Jokic, but also, I mean, I don't think there's a bad Jokic lineup, essentially.
Right.
That's totally fair. He helps Russ look good in this scenario too, right?
Mhm.
Like there's a reason for having Russ look good.
And also, Russ to Jokic is one of the top assist pairings in the NBA this year as well. Like, we can't really actually gloss over that as like a non thing. You end up looking through this year, and Jokic, not to get like to the X's and O's part of it too much, but Jokic has done a good job when Russ initiates on the wing of kind of showing at the elbow and then spinning out to the paint, and Russ will find him diving. Because like defenses have gotten so used to Jokic just always coming up to get the ball from like whoever has the ball in the wing, that they've kind of leveraged that into Jokic getting easy baskets by just rolling. And to that point, Westbrook to Jokic was tied for the 4th highest assist combo in the league this year.
Wow.
So yeah, like it's not like these are nothing.
So they have 2, 3, and 4 for the most.
Yeah, the duo that they're tied with for 4th is Halliburton to Siakam. So, and actually Halliburton also is up there with the 6th highest to Miles Turner.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
We got some questions. I mean, we all want Russ to play more. I think we've obviously seen playoff Russ be playoff Russ for the Clippers. The people who wanted him to run the show got what they wanted, and it got canceled. We're getting a lot of questions about Bogey in the chat. Someone's saying, and thank John John R. Okay, thank you, Russo.
I watch baseball.
Happy that Adam Osland is not here because he would have the gun out right now. Because John is asking, how do we see Bogey's offense and defense being a factor? I think we know the offensive thing, right? He can do a little bit of everything. He can hit open threes. He can run the pick and roll, which will be huge. Defensively, are we making too big a deal about the fact that he is bad at defense? I will open it up to the floor for a spirited debate.
Will
looks like he has something to say immediately.
I mean, he's like probably one of the biggest suffers from Nico being out, because I feel like, again, that's someone who covers up, and that makes those lineups a lot better. And that, like, I mean, I know that we all watched the tape. It was all over of like him getting hunted in that Golden State game, and like it's gonna happen against any bigger opponent, of course. Like, it's not and once again, if that's what's happening, if the Nuggets are able to funnel their offense through Bogey, yeah, those minutes are probably going to go really poorly for us. So let's hope that those are minutes that Jokic isn't on the floor and we can kind of keep pace with it. I don't know what to say about him as a defender. He has his issues, but I think that the lineups that you put around him are more like what mitigates it, not his individual defense.
Yeah,
I don't think that's wrong. Like, that's a good point, actually. Like, it's a lot easier to play defense if the players around you are better at defense, essentially. So, like,
it's not. I feel
Yeah.
like we talk about defense sometimes like it's like this one-on-one
so
thing, and like
individual, yeah.
that's only one scenario defensively. That's really only
Yeah.
one part of the
that's
equation.
the get out of the way. That's
It's not
the
Bogey
move.
versus 5. Like it ideally
also-
isn't even Bogey versus the ball handler in most situations.
Hot take.
But also, like,
I think Bogey would be better versus 5 people than just versus one guy.
you're not wrong. I just can we stop boiling down a guy's entire like profile on one side of the ball because Jimmy Butler put his shoulder into his chest a couple times? Like, yeah. Jimmy Butler moves dudes. That's what he
And
does.
LeBron. Yeah.
That's what he does. LeBron is 6'8", 325 pounds. I think all 4 of us together would go as far back as Bogey did if he put it. I would evaporate if LeBron James put his shoulder into my chest. That would be it. I'd be gone.
And that's a charge. If you evaporate, that's a charge.
I'm still getting the block call.
The ref does this, and he's like, "What? Oh, it's him. He's all over my hands."
He's not actually calling a block. He's just trying to get me off of his shirt.
Yeah.
He's just...
would Bill Kennedy have to replay review that?
He would love
Yeah.
to. He would call for the review. The ref would be like,
yeah.
"I'm actually calling for this review."
Yeah.
Russo. Yeah, the Batum thing. Well, the Batum thing is such a good call because like the whole bench looks bad without Nick Batum, and I don't even think that's that much of an exaggeration. Like he's the epitome of a floor raiser. He doesn't make stupid mistakes. He hits open shots. He plays good defense. So the Bogey, we just have to win the non-Jokic minutes, right? Like that's the Clippers absolutely have the personnel to win the non-Jokic minutes. Like
So
the bench is better on the Clippers side, especially with a fully healthy bench.
The problem is that's been a problem for the Clippers is winning the non-Jokic minutes over
Yeah.
the years. For some reason, Jokic leaves the game, and it's like, I don't know who we're guarding right now. Like, what do we do? And we see this actually. It's happened before. The play-in game against Minnesota a couple years ago, they had a great game plan against Karl Anthony Towns. It worked so well that Karl Anthony Towns got into foul trouble, had to leave the court, sat on the bench, and the Clippers just went, I don't know what to do now.
That was our whole game plan. What do we do now? Yeah.
And then actually the other night, they won the Steph Curry minutes and got blown out in the non-Curry minutes. And it was just so confusing to watch where you just like, yeah, we played really well when the star was on the floor. They took him off. We're like, I don't know what I'm doing now. Like, who would they just bring in?
Moses down, baby.
They're like, Moses Moody's in the game? Who the hell is that guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, really, it kind of comes down to like, is Jamal Murray going to be able to flame the bench like Jimmy Butler did? Right. So Jimmy just took over the game in those non-Steph minutes, and the bench was bad, and we had Amir coming back from an extended layoff, and the bench just wasn't what it should have been. And so it just all comes down to, is Jamal Murray going to look like games 5, 6, and 7 Jamal Murray against the Clippers, or is he going to look like games 1, 2, 3, and 4 where he took a lap in the hallway because the defense was so good he didn't know what to do? Do we not remember that? Actually, from the bubble, where there was a shot of Jamal Murray with his hands on his hips in the tunnel going, I don't know how to do it. Like, I can't do this.
I have a deep Nico cut from Clippers lore that I like in terms of a comparison for this team. I think he's this team's Hito Turkoglu.
Hopefully not taking steroids.
Because
hopefully he is taking steroids and is healthy all playoffs.
I don't know if you guys remember
baguettes into it.
I don't know if you guys remember that 2014 second round series against OKC. They lost that series. I mean, they blew that series. Let's be realistic, because they should have.
Chris Paul blew that series. Yeah,
a lot of things happened. We just don't talk about that series. But they lost Hito Turkoglu just before that series, and he was a big bench piece for them. And I don't really know if people remember how good Hito was.
Bro,
He shot like 44% from three, only took threes, and was like their one switchable bench wing defender.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, now granted, you have Derek Jones Jr. now, so I get you have another switchable wing defender, but he reminds me of like that long in the tooth, knows exactly what he's out there to do,
Absolutely.
doesn't make mistakes guy, and kind of glues everything. And then you take him out, it's like everyone just falls apart.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Nico's going to have, other than the big three of Zoo, Harden, and Kawhi, Nico's going to have the best plus minus in this series.
Hopefully.
Probably.
Like,
yeah.
I like this question this point from Jonathan Ing talking about the only action that they're worried about, and props to Dime Dropper for pointing it out, is the Murray Jokic pick and pop that pulls Zoo out on the perimeter. Because we have seen that action, not specifically from the Nuggets. The Clippers have been kind of burned on backdoor cuts this year. That's weirdly been a theme of the Clippers, especially when it comes to lesser opponents. We're like, why the fuck are they getting backdoor cut so much? Will, do we just gotta hope the focus is up and that, like, I don't really know what else, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, if they're getting a backdoor cut and the Nuggets are scoring a ton of transition, that's going to be rough. We're going to lose. So yeah, I hope so.
boom.
They have to. I mean, Jeff Van Gundy all week just has to have a picture of Aaron Gordon circled with
In the
giant
number
red
spot.
marker, just being like, look for this guy, he's gonna cut. Like, you're gonna be paying attention to Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, and this guy is gonna run to the basket, trip him, elbow him, bite him. I don't care. Don't let him get to the basket.
I'm not trying to play any team that you're coaching. You have advocated for physical violence.
I almost said stab him, but I decided that was a little too far.
Okay, well, I'm glad you showed some restraint.
The two biggest guys beyond, like, obviously Aaron Gordon's the big one. MPJ has become a very good cutter.
Mhm.
And the biggest guy for them to worry about in that department is actually Christian Brown, ironically, because you don't really think of him, but he's had done a really good job all year of when his defender, specifically when he's on the wing, when his defender turns to watch Jokic with the ball, he just straight up cuts behind them and they never see him. And that's a big problem. Going back to the original pick and roll point too, like Denver runs wedge pick and rolls on the wing late in games with Jokic and Murray. They haven't done it as much this year as past years, but it's also like one of the greatest points per possession based sequences in the NBA late in games. Their wedge pick and roll is incredible. And it just stretches and stresses defenses out because there's like no great answer to it. And you have to like send so much help, like pre-help, to make sure that you just don't get killed. And it usually doesn't matter. But I also wonder if the biggest adjustment is just let Jokic shoot threes. Incredible shooter, like top 5 shooter in the league, most likely. And I'm just like, what if you just let him shoot threes? And I don't think that's the worst game plan, because Jokic with the ball in the post kind of reminds you of LeBron in the post from the Miami, and when he went back to Cleveland, it's like, that's just the guy you don't want to deal with. And everyone else is just orbiting around him like he has his own gravitational pull. And that's when all the chaos and the problems start. So I'm almost just, do you go under the screens? Like, it's tough. I don't think there's an easy answer. They're going to have to, if you have possessions where everybody's not on the same page, it's going to look bad.
I mean, I to your screens point, like they just don't ever, like, they always go under, right? Like we've seen it. Like that's going to be, they're going to switch, they're going to go under the screen. Like that is what to expect from the Clippers defense. I'm interested to see if I'm trying to find the numbers on it, but a lineup of Harden, Dunn, DJJ, Kawhi, Zoo seems like the best option the Clippers have to help against specifically that wedge pick and roll and still having some offense out there because of Harden and Kawhi.
Do they have enough shooting?
No. The answer to that question is no. Unless DJJ is hitting his threes.
I will say only 66 minutes with that lineup this year. So
right. It's like not a lot. So I don't know about that one.
Now, I know what a wedge pick and roll is, but I don't think Will does. So do you want to explain it?
Yeah, you break it down for me.
Man, see, Joseph, you do need to come back to this.
Do you really want me to explain it to you?
Yeah,
No,
explain it to the people.
Oh,
well, you
okay.
can't explain it to the people, but I just wanted to do
Okay.
this joke.
Wedge pick and
so
rolls
cool.
usually start on the wing because the whole point of it is that you're trying to set a ball screen facing the baseline if you're the center and then rolling down the seam. But there's usually a guard or a wing who's also involved in the action that's kind of like sitting at the elbow or even sometimes the nail ready to leak out. So it just becomes like an actual math problem. And they're just going to have to figure that out. And that's not always the easiest thing.
Mhm.
Leaky elbow, leaky nail. Gotcha.
Yeah.
There you go.
So there's no
go
blue
up.
cheese.
It's called like
there's no bacon.
unironically, it's called a wedge roll because the big man's kind of wedging his way down the seam. It's kind of
Yeah.
You gotta love how the way these terms come about sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, we got buddy walk, we got the wedge pick and roll, we have
Terminology.
names. We got terminology on this pod.
Well, I mean, so the one last explanation of it though is the other part of it that gets overlooked is the reason it's also so effective isn't just because of like, oh, pick and pop stuff. Because when Jokic sets the screen, he's also going to post up if there's someone there. So, and his post up's always a mismatch at that point. And that's another situation you don't want to get caught in. What I will say though, is in doing some film work for this series, the Clippers did have some success, just a very minor amount. They did have some success with Nico and Zoo together against Jokic, where Nico actually defended Jokic, and they had Zoo kind of, I guess, is like not a roamer, but just kind of ready to double. And that's two long guys to double Jokic. They actually forced like a turnover or two in those limited minutes from Jokic because he would try to skip pass over the top, and it would just get picked on the far side by like Chris Dunn. So that's kind of like one of the things that you can end up doing if you want to play Nico in non-bench lineups.
Well, the Clippers too, like Will, right? Like we have kind of good like free safety guards on this team. Like Dunn is done, and Norm has been proven to be good at free safety stuff specifically.
Yeah.
He's not locking. He's not Chris Dunn level.
A tepid, from Will. Yeah.
Yeah,
he's not Chris Dunn level. I'm not saying that.
I loosely concur with you.
But he's a good free safety. He's a good free safety.
Justin, do you think that we could see any changes with? I mean, I feel like the three of obviously Kawhi, Harden, seems like Dunn and Zoo is set. Do you think we could see Norm is set? Do you think instead of Dunn we could see, or I guess instead of in Norm too, we could see DJJ or Nico enter the starting lineup or be used more heavily in a closing lineup?
That's a hot thing, right?
I wouldn't rule anything out. I just don't think you see it. If there is anything that happens, you wouldn't see it until maybe game 3.
And we'd be down 2 games, right?
Yeah. And you're just trying new stuff out. And even at that point, I don't even think you take Norm out because his offense, like, I actually talked about this with Adam the other night.
Awesome.
Because Adam is of the opinion that we could see Nico start in this, which I mean,
he could, but you're not starting him right away.
Yeah.
Like,
you can't. It just
Was this in the in and out line? Is that where you were?
Oh my God, we got 5. Can this even support 5 people at once?
Oh,
Adam,
he's back.
We were just talking starting lineup changes.
So is Nico Batum in? Is that what we're talking about?
Game 1.
I'm all for it, actually.
Things have been going so well. What if we do something completely different?
Like,
it worked in Blazing Saddles.
If they get down 0-2, Nico Batum is taking over if they get down 0-2.
Yeah, I think we can all pretty much agree on that for sure.
Yeah.
Damn. There's a lot
all right,
of us.
well, we solved that problem. Good job, everybody.
Done.
Great discussion about the Nico Batum in the starting lineup.
What if we're just the starting 5 that they need?
Okay, well, we're losing. I think we're losing some of those minutes.
Yeah, but we could just go out there and bore them to death by just talking to them.
I was hooping on Monday. That's all I'm going to say. I was hooping on Monday. Pocket passes.
We're that high school that that's what this lineup needs, Joseph. Is good pocket passes. We're
Just
that,
like that.
high school that refused to shoot the ball in like Illinois or whatever a couple weeks ago. They just held the fucking ball. All right, Adam. We've all Justin Russo has not revealed his series pick yet. He's waiting. He said until game 4, which I think is really late for his series prediction.
Okay, do you actually want my pick?
Of course you do.
Save it,
You're
save it for your Substack. Put it behind the paywall. We'll all pay for it. We'll get it later.
I'm trying not to be too optimistic, and I do think I'm too close to them on a day-to-day basis to where like I can get optimistic about the things that I see and hear them say. And I do think Denver is a lot more underrated than they should be in this series, just because there is the factor that if you've watched them since Michael Malone left, they have played a little bit freer. Guys
left. He was told to leave, to be fair.
They said, beat it, buddy. You know,
I left a couple of jobs too when I was in high school.
But they look different in terms of like, it almost looks like they got their mojo back from what you would expect them to look like. So I don't want to sit here and sound like I'm underrating them. They could easily win this series in 6 games, 7 games, 5 games, even. Who the hell knows? It's the NBA. I'm just saying it's the NBA. You never know.
5.
But I'm picking the Clippers in 5.
Let's go!
Oh shit!
Russo.
Damn.
And
that's more optimistic than I was.
Okay, I will preface this by saying the last time I picked the Clippers in 5 over the Nuggets, it looked very great up until the 4th quarter of Game 5, and then it went off the rails.
I don't like that.
Women and children clapping in the stands, and there was Justin like, yes, I did it. I did it.
Manifested it, and then but I don't think that. So the reason for this is the reason I feel that way is because I think the Clippers have more problems to present to the Nuggets than vice versa on an individual basis. I don't know defensively. I mean, maybe the Nuggets just show up with a defense that we haven't seen all year, and it's like, oh, where was this for the other 79 games of the regular season? But I just think there's too many pressure points on Denver's defense. And the only thing I keep going back to is as long as the Clippers don't get killed in transition, I think they should be okay. Now, that's a big deal because they have been turnover prone. The Nuggets, Jokic, for as much as we want to talk about his defense isn't great, he gets a lot of steals. He does have great hands down low. Tremendous guy who kicks the ball apparently every, like 2 kick balls per game or whatever that article was.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Which, by the way, on my soapbox, I will rant. That should be a technical foul. Just going to leave it at that. Like defensive 3 seconds. It should be like a defensive 3 seconds tech, like a team tech.
Every kick ball?
If it's intentional, and
a deliberate kick ball.
Yeah, a deliberate intentional kick ball. Like
I like the whimsy of it.
Unless it goes into the other team's basket, then it's a 3. If you kick it all the way into the basket,
that's fair.
It's a 3. Yeah,
that should be like the 5-pointer. Like you should just win the game. Like, but
that was a big.
Like the snitch. It's the snitch. If you kick it into the other basket, game's over.
I just, like I said, maybe I'm too close to them, and I'm just like, all right, I'm just waiting. I've been drinking the Kool-Aid, yada yada yada. But they look good. The Clippers do, and I get it. The game in Sacramento didn't look great. Like they gutted it out the end. I don't think that's a bad thing. They needed those 2 games, I think, before the playoffs. And
totally.
I kind of just think they're ready. They look ready.
Are they Jokic ready?
No one is. That's the problem. But I just think the Clippers have a little bit more answers than the Nuggets do on similar problems that could be facing each team. I mean, but strangers happen. Like I said, I wouldn't be shocked if, 2 weeks from now, I'm like, oh my God, the Clippers are down 3-1 and then they have to go to Denver to survive,
Damn, you have a lot of horrifying and wonderful situations.
I'm a complex person, Chuck, okay?
Yeah, wow, multitudes over here. Adam, how are you feeling? What's your series pick? Are you as optimistic and I guess pessimistic as Senor Russo?
I mean, there's a little darkness and a little light in everyone, but I will say if one team was to win in 5, I would guess it would be the Clippers being able to win in 5 over the Denver Nuggets closing this thing out in 5. So I agree on that. I just don't. There is a path. There is a path where you beat up the Nuggets in game 1, and you end up humiliating them at home to the point where you break their will and they feel like, well, it's just more of the same this season. Everything's going wrong. We have no chance in this series. That could happen. But it's more likely than not Nikola Jokic drawing up plays on the whiteboard and all, that they're probably going to rally and they're probably going to find a way to make it competitive. So I got Clips in 6, but if the Nuggets won in 6, I'd be like, yeah, they got the best player in the world. It could totally happen. So I wouldn't be shocked by anything.
And they are, I think some Clippers fans, maybe myself included, they are the higher seed. They have the home court advantage.
On a technicality.
What's the technicality?
Oh, they won more games. Whatever. Should be best. Should be ranked by best.
I will say, if people care about betting lines, it's an actual pick 'em for this series.
Yeah.
Like
open Nuggets as the favorite. Move
and then
to pick 'em because all the action on the Clippers.
Yeah, it has dwindled all the way down to a pick 'em at this point. But I kind of just think the Clippers just beat them in 5. I don't know why. I'm not saying they're going to blow them out in every game, okay? Like, I don't want that to sound like what I'm saying. But I just think that as Adam's cat goes across the screen.
Shout out Adam's cat.
There we go.
Shout out
No worries.
Yeah.
No worries, guys. It's just a black cat crossing the screen while we give predictions on the series.
Good job.
As Justin says, they're going to win in 5. I don't know why a black cat just appeared out of nowhere. Yeah.
Good.
Hold on. Let me walk under this ladder really quick.
Just spin it the other way. Just spin it the other way. Maybe because the cat came across, it means it's going to happen.
Yeah, hold on. I have some salt over here. I managed to spill.
Throw it over your shoulder like a continental soldier, my friend. Maybe it's because the Clippers have been the best team in the NBA for 20 games. Maybe that's why you feel confident. Maybe it's because since March 6th, they're the top team in offensive rating, defensive rating, net rating. They're fucking 18-3, and they've looked really good.
1 seed.
Probably.
Can I ask you? Can I take the wind out of Joseph's sails though really quick, because he's usually the guy to do that. But
this is a Clipper show.
You know, I'm not saying that this is so fluky and it has nothing to do with how good the Clippers are, but I am saying the fact that they are number 1 in 3-point shooting over that span at 43%, and opponents were only shooting 40 or 34% against them, so they're literally shooting 10% higher from 3 over 21 games. That doesn't make me feel great. That doesn't seem very sustainable.
But wasn't the inverse true at the beginning of the season?
Yeah, the middle part of the season, the inverse was true.
They weren't shooting the worst in the league. Teams were shooting good against them. To have both those things happening at the same time now seems a little bit wild.
Or we're just really fucking good, guys. Maybe that's what's happening here.
Are we worried at all about the fact, and we haven't talked about this, I don't think, during this podcast yet, the Nuggets average the most free throws per game in the NBA this season?
I'm worried about Chris Dunn, yeah. Yeah, I'm worried about Chris Dunn.
The whistle on Chris Dunn is such a, I don't know, not big, but that's a pivotal part of how this is going to go. And if he gets those 2 early fouls,
we all agree, Chuck. You've left us speechless. We're in speechless agreement, Chuck.
See, that's not the agreement I want. Now we're like, oh, that's a sobering realization. We all shit.
We all just poured one out.
We have another Chris Dunn. His name's Derek Jones Jr.
They got
backup.
I just don't think the free throws biggest deal, though. I think it's more stopping them from getting out in transition.
Yeah.
Because they led the league in fast break. Obviously, I mentioned Christian Brown earlier, but their entire team led the league in fast break points. They led the league in points in the paint, which a byproduct of that also is fast break points. But if you just don't turn the ball, if you make them play against your half court defense, you have a far better chance, which is obviously common sense, but just don't turn the ball. Just don't have stupid turnovers.
Have
and
you
we
told
know
them this, Russo? You're
What
close to the team. You're close to the team. Have you told them this?
Yeah, I've sent them PowerPoint presentations, slides. Like, hey, this
First
play,
slide.
don't do this. Don't
Make
do this.
baskets. Number 1, make baskets. If you make a basket, they can get in transition. Slide 2. Yeah.
Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong on that.
Justin, you gave me listening to the practice audio today and some of the questions you were asking. The line of questioning regarding Christian Brown gave me a new terrible thought. If he's guarding James Harden, which we expect Christian Brown to be, anytime
Yes.
James
I know what you're gonna
Harden
say, yep.
takes that step back three, Christian Brown is taking off the other way. And Jokic is going to be looking for him on outlet passes every time. And if he misses those threes, they're going to be there for him. He's going to be cherry picking on the other end because he led the league in fast break points, and he's going to be guarding Harden.
Yeah, that's partially also why I asked them today, because that is the thing. And Ty gave me an answer about how it was the first thing Jeff Van Gundy went over yesterday, and how they just you just got to get back. You can't.
How's Harden going to get back when he falls to the floor on half the step backs? That's his man. You're going to put Norman Powell on him, on Christian Braun, to make sure he runs back, regardless of what Harden is doing on that shot?
No, I mean, the easy answer is just Kawhi always sprints back, which we've seen him do, and then just that's the deterrent.
Or
about the buddy walk. Adam doesn't know about the buddy walk.
Oh, yeah. Today, Ty in his answer to me, happy birthday, Chuck. There you go.
yeah.
Yeah, way too early. It's like 4 months early.
Ty today in his answer to me about Christian Brown said, we can't, I think he said lollygag was one of the things. And he goes, or jog back. He goes, and you can't buddy walk. He goes, and so I got clarification after. I said, buddy walk, huh? He goes, yeah, how you just walk with your buddy like this. And you're just going through the motions. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so, yeah, if they get back with any sense of urgency, they should be fine. The question is, do they get back with any sense of urgency?
And in the three out of the 4 games against the Nuggets this year, they turned the ball over at least 17 times. The 4th game was 12, but they got blown out in that last. I think we scored 98 points in that last game. So they do seemingly, again, none of these games are with Kawhi, though. So I don't know how much there is to read into it. But we do, on the season, seem to turn the ball over a lot, specifically against the Nuggets.
What I will say is if you go just look at the whole season, the Clippers are now 20th in transition defense, which sounds, it's not good. It sounds bad because it is bad. Oddly enough,
yeah.
Do you know who the dead last team in the NBA is?
Is it the Denver Nuggets?
The Denver Nuggets. You know what the problem with that is for the Clippers? They don't get out and run. Maybe that's the alternative too. If you get a rebound, if you do something, just get out and go.
Yeah.
Well, they have been great with points off of turnovers. They've been somewhat opportunistic.
They have.
So that could bode well for them, but they actually have to find those guys when it happens and make the correct pass and not turn it over. But James Harden is looking for Ivica Zubac on some pretty wild outlet passes the last couple of games.
We don't talk about those.
Yeah. Well, that's where Derek Jones Jr. comes in.
I was going to say, get DJJ in there.
Right? He's the transition guy.
To pull a Chuck reference, it's like watching Tua Tagovailoa try to hit Tyreek Hill down the sideline and just
this feels
somehow
hurtful.
Airmail it, okay?
This feels hurtful. Why are you bringing this up?
Because he's left-handed,
Okay. Well, we got a lot of problems over with my favorite football team we don't need to bring up now. We're not talking about soccer. We're not talking about the Dolphins.
Thanks, Dad.
We're level set an hour into this thing.
I like the optimism that Tua was playing, though. That's pretty big.
Yes, we'll take it. Yeah, it's the guy with the brain injury is the bad guy.
I'm not. Injury prone is all I meant.
Okay, what the hell were we even talking about? Someone's asking if Murray is on a minutes restriction. That does not seem to be the case. He seems to be. I don't think they're minutes restricting shit.
No,
they're gonna play him until the bone, like his hamstring falls off. They don't like because you got the Clippers are gonna do it with Kawhi. Like
yeah.
Like what are you gonna save minutes for? Like he played 25 minutes on Sunday, but also that game was a blowout. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you think they take the kid gloves off Kawhi? I mean, obviously he was really hurt these last few times, but do you think they really push it this year?
He
just played 47 minutes.
I'm not talking about minutes. I'm saying if he tweaks something, if he feels something off, are they going to put him in bubble wrap and say we're playing for next season, or are they going to try to get him back out there?
I just think they judge it based on a situational basis.
That's a fucking cop-out, Russo. Anybody else want to answer the question like a real goddamn man? Jesus Christ. Someone want to say something?
Well, what would you call what they did last year?
Last year, it felt...
Because that didn't feel like bubble wrap.
No,
it felt like they shouldn't have played him in Game 4.
Yeah, no, they shouldn't.
That was a sobering. Yeah. That was one of the worst Clippers games I've ever been.
So that's how I feel about it. If that's what he's going to look like, hanging on the rim because he can't come down, I guess bubble wrap him at that point.
He's still up there. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like that was horrible. Yeah, I don't know.
That is one of the sadder moments I've ever.
It was bad.
I've ever enjoyed.
Really I actually wiped it from my memory until you just reminded me of that moment.
You reminded us of it.
It's because Paul George was involved in that.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
That's a good call. I think they've handled his health incredibly well this whole season.
I think this season has been pretty good. Yeah.
They actually talked about it today.
Yeah, like it's been. The vibes are right. You can't quantify. But right now, the vibes feel incredibly high.
Yeah, in my question to Ty about kind of what has because after the game on Sunday, Kawhi had a comment about how he thanks the fact that the organization let him go out and consult outside, sources for medical stuff.
Was that the Costa Rica trip or?
That was Dr. Dennis.
And then Ty said basically he equated to trust in terms of how he's seen Kawhi's partnership with the team grow over the years, not just from like a organizational standpoint or with the guys, but just in general. And so he said trust, and he gave Maggie Bryant, who's a Clipper staffer, works with the medical staff. I'm trying to remember Maggie's official title. I think it's like the president of performance, health and wellness. Maggie took over. She stayed with the Clippers this year. And Ty gave her credit and gave the medical staff credit and gave Kawhi credit for giving Maggie a chance to show, as Ty put it, to show him some different things, some different ways to try to be 100% at the end of the season and doing things a different way. So, and he credited her along with Kawhi's group. He said that they've done a good job of getting him to this point. It seems, I know it sounds crazy to say, and they all are, it could just be everyone's just saying the right thing and everything, because everything's going well right now, but it does feel a lot different. Cause my mind even took me back to media day this year where Kawhi, when I remember asking Kawhi if he feels different this year, knowing that because he said himself, we now know how to treat this. We know how to manage it now. So I asked him if that makes him feel better. And he said, at that time, he said, yeah. He said, because he feels like he's able, now that they have a handle on it, he has the confidence to go out there and kind of, rebound from all this stuff. So I kind of just think you've seen a process where he's trusted them, they've trusted him, and this might be the most harmonious they've been, in his time together. At least from a medical standpoint.
I like the word harmonious because that really is what they're trying to strike. Every organization that's been with Kawhi and his outside medical staff is harmonious. Yeah, I have nothing else to follow up other than I'm happy that they're on the same page.
We've been killing these transitions, man. We've really.
Boom, boom, boom.
All right, we got like 5-ish minutes left. Adam, we're doing a roundtable. What's your X factor for the series? We know that Kawhi, James, and Zoo all have to play at the level they have been playing, and things like that. What else are you feeling about this?
This feels like the player pick where we can't choose certain guys.
It's pretty damn close to that.
The X factor is if Chris Dunn is making 3-pointers. I mean, they might be able to beat the Boston Celtics in the NBA Finals. That's how good this team can be if Chris Dunn is making his shots from the outside. It just makes them so difficult to guard, and he has been over the last month or so. I don't know if it's going to continue, but they at least have options if he's not. But I do think keeping Chris Dunn on the floor is imperative. His defense on Jamal Murray, people bringing up the 51% true shooting percentage by Jamal Murray in his career against Chris Dunn. They need him. They need, I think, his attitude, his presence out there to start games is big for this team. He sets the tone defensively. So if he's hitting shots, if he's passing well, the short roll, to me, so much of this is just about Chris Dunn starting games and playing well in first quarters and getting the Clippers off to a good start and also finding his shot and making sure he has that confidence.
All right. Adam went first. He had the pick of the X Factor litter. Russo.
Does it have to be a player or can it just be a thing?
It can be literally anything. It could be the wall, which I'm very excited to see for the playoffs. We haven't talked about that. Could be the energy from the watch party that's going to be happening, which you should go to if you're able to. I can't keep giving you free X Factors, man. You got to come up with your own at some point.
I'm going to go to offensive rebounds.
Hell yeah.
Because Denver's 5th in offensive rebound rate, and the Clippers are the best defensive rebounding team in the league.
Ooh.
And it kind of goes in conjunction a little bit with, if Zoo's on the floor, they've been so good at grabbing defensive rebounds. And I just think that, if you give Denver extra possessions, it's going to be a long game. You can't give them extra possessions. Their offense is too good. So
speaking of extra possessions, make total sense. Carl Tart, welcome
What's
to the
up, big
pod.
dog?
My boys. Oh, it's been so long.
How the hell are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm in Austin, Texas. Yeehaw.
Okay. No cowboy hat this morning, but that's fine. No cowboy hat. That's fine.
I don't have a cowboy hat with me. How's everybody doing?
We're doing
Adam,
good.
The look to ensure the cowboy hat wasn't behind him is what killed me.
Is it behind me?
Is it on me?
I don't got it on me. Carl, Justin Russo picked the Clippers to win. We have so many people. We have to go ESPN mode with this. Carl,
around the horn style.
Yeah, Justin Russo picked the Clippers to win in 5. Haggle, no haggle. The Clippers win. I think that will happen or not happen.
First of all, hello, Justin Russo. It's an honor to meet you.
Hey, Carl.
I'm a fan of your work.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You guys have never been in a room together?
We've never done this bit.
Oh, this seems wild.
2 Clipper greats.
I've listened to Carl talk, so it's like 2 worlds colliding right now.
Yeah, this is a lot of people thought we were the same guy because they never saw us in the room together.
Yeah, we got a lot of reviews about that.
They thought Justin Russo's Twitter was my burner.
Yeah,
that I talk about.
Carl was a shit on basketball. That burner.
That can't be because Russo likes Zubac.
So I knew I was gonna have to eat a little bit of crow here. Let me tell the chat is going wild. Throw some Z's in the chat for Zubac, who had the year that I said he had to have. Adam Oslin, what did I say to you at the beginning of the year when you asked me what does Zoo have to do to earn your respect? And I said he has to average about 16 and 10. And what is he averaging?
Oh, 17 and 13.
Come on, man.
Yeah, you believed in him the entire time, Carl.
No,
Apologies.
I never said that. I never said. I'm here. I will. Uh-oh.
We can't see the gun on the small screen.
Yeah, Adam has the gun out.
Do I need to turn my TV off? Somebody says we'll get taken down. Let me turn it off.
Oh, that's a good call.
Turn the TV off. Turn the TV off.
Yeah, can't have the big TV on.
Hang on,
Can't watch.
I don't-
It's just still on, which is fine.
I just gotta see AD hit these free throws.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you take what spread did you bet for this game? You got him at like plus 28.
Yeah, I know, right? Sports betting is not legal in Texas, which is why they traded Luka away.
Let's unpack. Let's get into it. Okay, wait. So you're eating. You've made up for your views on Zoo. He did what he had to do.
Yeah,
earn your respect, which is fair. You got the jersey, which everyone appreciates.
I bought the jersey. I got the red Zoo.
Clippers in 6. What's your prediction?
I say Clippers in 6.
Okay.
I think our defensively we are pretty solid. And one thing I've always said, which Adam can agree with, is that I've always said Zoo plays well against Jokic. He's played that for a while. He's done that for a while.
Certified stopper.
Yeah. So yeah, man. I'm listen. I have been instructed to talk my shit.
Em has told you to talk your shit.
I'm gonna talk my shit. Zoo has done what I needed him to do this year. I think he deserves DPOY, and he definitely deserves most improved because goddamn.
He got it out of whatever Croatian mud he had to get it out of.
Can we just send that to all the media for who's voting for most improved? Who deserves it? Because goddamn, Carl Tart.
Are you worried at all about you're conscious of Jokic, obviously, because he can he's still Jokic.
Jokic is going Jokic. He going Yoke. But I think if we get the Jamal Murray that's been playing recently, if we get the lack of chemistry, Christian Brown and Michael Porter Jr., I think we got a good, solid chance at beating them.
I still can't believe, Russo, that you said Clippers in 5.
Maybe I'm just optimistic. I don't know.
I love it. I love it, man.
I was talking with someone who travels with the team, and we had the same pick. That's all I'll say.
Well, I'm happy they're confident.
That
makes sense.
It was like, oh, tell me who your pick is. And I literally said, oh, I haven't made like my official pick. And they said to me, that's bullshit. You got to give me something. And I said, Clippers in 5. They said, that's what I have. And I said, okay. So,
how many wins did you have, Matt, this season?
Hey, I was optimistic on them this season. I want that to be known. I said I had them at 43. And
Adam, what did I have on your pod to beginning of the season? Was it 48 to 50? Was it low end 48, high end 50?
Come
on, Adam. Just say yes. Just say yes. Move it forward. Just move it forward. Keep the ball rolling. I said 48 to 50 on your pod. I remember what I said. Just go ahead and say yes.
I think I had 42 on your pod, Adam. I thought we was going to do 42 and 40. It exceeded expectation.
Especially because, like, if you told me Kawhi was playing 37 games, I probably would have said, 38, 39, 40 wins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hope everyone in the chat, and maybe everyone, if they're legally allowed to, on the stream, took the 37.5 line. Because the line for Vegas was crazy.
Yeah.
That even I understand there's 6 homers here, and Justin, I'm counting you because you're saying Clippers in 5. But 37.5 was crazy. How are we feeling?
No, it wasn't crazy. It was asinine. It really was. Like let's be realistic.
Asinine.
The team hadn't had a losing season in 13 years, and you're just going to be like
37 wins. Crazy.
Look at the talent they had. I'm not saying they should have been expected to win 50 games. I'm just saying the original Vegas line had them at 35.5.
Yeah. One line was 33.
I was going to say you could get 32.5 at some point. I think Bet Online or something.
That's disgusting.
You spit on that.
Yeah. Like what? Like I don't know. Maybe the cold. Like okay, sure, they lost PG. Like at the time, yeah, that was a big loss in terms of like star power and stuff.
To who?
Okay, just let me finish. Okay, Chuck. The
ball
thing
out.
that I don't think people accounted for was that other guys inevitably had to step up in that stead. And the guys who stepped up were guys that they needed to actually lean on in the first place anyways. So, you know, and you still had James Harden. You still had Ty Lue. You added actual defensive guys around them. 33 is insane. Like people should be locked in prison. That's embezzling. That's like fraud.
I love how much
Carl, what do you have?
Yeah, are you pulling
I'm
out?
Sorry, Carl. What is going on over there?
Which one should I put on? I travel heavy.
Is the PJ Tucker jersey in there somewhere?
PJ Tucker jersey is not here with me. Put up.
I was just about to put
Andy's comment.
Andy said Carl was always hard on Zoo because he knew what he'd become. I credit him for Zoo's lead. Did you just type this when you were pulling out your zippered hat?
I travel with hats. My hat case.
That's what's up. The red is tough. I would go red.
I'm not rich enough for that.
You can afford this. You can afford this.
So we know what you're pulling. We know what we know what Ballmer pays you, bro.
That's right. Yeah. To get out here and say Clippers in 5.
Yeah.
That's right.
You're about to get a nice check for that one.
Listen, if it comes to fruition, I just don't want to be asked about a prediction ever again. I'm going out on a high note. And if it doesn't come to fruition and they somehow lose the series, just don't ever ask me again.
All right. No, that's fair.
All right.
One thing that's kind of weird about this matchup is the coaching matchup, because we know that Ty Lue is a very good coach. The other coach has coached 3 games. He has won all 3 of those games. Adam, you look like you have something you'd like to say about this. How are you feeling about this coaching matchup?
Queasy. No, I have some concerns because he's going to push some buttons that Mike Malone didn't. And he's going to play some different rotations. And you, the devil you know better than the one you don't, it's that type of thing going on. So I do think, if anything, they're going to be better because of the move they made, just to at least get rid of some of the turmoil going on before the playoffs started. But David Adelman, it's not like he's going to change schemes. We've talked about this. You can't do that this late into the season. And the scheme is just get it to Jokic and let him run everything. But if he starts playing different guys out there than we've seen all season, that could throw a wrench in the Clippers' plans.
Yeah, it's the what if factor, which, yeah, I totally agree there. I don't know, because doesn't everyone else kind of not good? They don't have a very deep roster, right? Like, comparatively, the Clippers have more depth, especially with the health factor.
To some degree. But I don't want to discount guys like Peyton Watson, because that's the kind of guy who can swing a series just with his defense and transition ability. So
they're Nico Batum. If things go wrong, they start Peyton Watson over Michael Porter Jr.
No, because Michael Porter Jr. is too valuable to their offense, and you can't.
To Missouri, don't they love?
I don't.
And you can't play two guys who, while Christian Brown shot really well from 3 this year, I don't think the Clippers are going to be hard closing out on him, so to speak. And if you play Peyton Watson alongside of him, the spacing can probably get a tad wonky.
I'm just saying, they get down early, they're going to be looking for another defender in the starting lineup.
I mean, in that sense, you're not. I just think when teams get down, they're going to try anything.
Yeah.
And if they get down early, that helps Russo's Clippers in 5 prediction. So he's.
So I thought in the bubble that someone never got taken out for Zoo, and so.
Well, so did Ty Lue, funnily enough. Carl, what's your X factor for this series? We were in the middle of X factors.
I think for me, the X factors are going to be the bench players making shots.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think Chris Dunn played great in that last playoff game, hitting some threes. I got struck by lightning twice during that game. But it was like I want to see him doing that, and I want to Nico. Is Nico playing? He was hurt last game.
He's
right?
healthy. He was dunking. They've taken photos of him dunking, which we believe to be real.
Yeah. Now he did have 7 fingers in every one of those.
Yeah, he had 7 fingers and hair, which was odd. Grok gave him hair. Oh.
Doesn't Grok just sound like the name that Rob Gronkowski just got randomly called one day by like a drunk player? And they're just like, it just what a shitty name. Sorry.
Man, I like that we brought the hater out of
Sorry.
It's
not hard. It's not hard, believe me.
Pedro Munoz is saying Aaron Gordon will be their X factor. I am afraid of Aaron Gordon going off too.
He has been shooting. So Adam posted this too. He shot incredibly well from 3 this season, but it's on, what was it? The same attempts as Derrick Jones Jr. Fewer? What, like
50 fewer, like 172 shots from the outside.
So he's not like hurling them up.
Yeah. I will say though, he played 22 fewer games this year than last year. So
right. But that's part of the reason. But I'm just saying it's not a huge sample size of that 44% 3-point shooting.
No, it's not. But I mean, when you look at him, he's taking like 3.5 a game, and like it's different than I would say for Derrick, essentially.
Derrick.
What is so? This guy's saying Bogey. I believe Bogey too. Is it crazy to think that we could get 6 to 10 points from Ben Simmons?
Yes.
As an average or in a game?
In the series.
In the series.
Yeah.
Did you say minutes or points? Because I'm with you on minutes.
I think he's averaging at most 4.5 points this series.
Yeah.
Because he has to take shots. He passed the team has talked about it as recently as today. Like, he's not looking for the basket at all.
So Russo, you're with the team. Is he working with Zoo to fix whatever the fuck his little jump hook is? Because how do you have a hitch in a jump hook? That's what I've been trying to figure out with Ben Simmons.
I can tell you that he has been working with Zoo. He worked on him the first day that he actually practiced when he came to the Clippers too. So,
attaboy. Proud of my son.
Helped at all.
Not working yet.
He's been working with Jay Larranaga. He's been working with Jay Larranaga and Amir Johnson. So
okay. Oh, Amir. Oh, nice.
Amir Johnson.
I like.
By the way, one of the greatest coaching additions ever. Because I did not realize. Now this is bad on me as a reporter who follows the team.
Bad you.
Yeah, well, when I got to Summer League this past summer, I looked at the Summer League bench and I'm sitting next to Tomer at one of the Clipper games, covering the game, and I'm like, wow, this guy looks really familiar on the Clippers bench. And Tomer goes, yeah, that's Amir Johnson. I was like, holy shit, that's Amir Johnson. And I liked Amir Johnson as a player. And then when I realized they added Amir Johnson, and then you see the leap that Zeus had, he credits quite a bit of that to Amir Johnson as well. And I think having that type of guy has been really good for him, and I think it could be good for Ben Simmons as well. The Ben situation is rather fascinating from the standpoint that this can be a Ben series, 100%. But if he's getting in transition and not going towards the rim with the intent to score, it can be a problem. I don't mind him setting guys up and all this stuff, but if teams are not playing you to score, it's a little bit tougher. They have to draw that out of him. I think they can. He's very receptive to everything they tell him from everything I've heard and been told. So it's not like he's just in one ear and out the other, you know?
Well, they're only asking him to do things that play to his strengths.
Dumb.
He's not being asked to stretch his role or do something different. It's like, bro, you've done this before.
As I had someone explain to me
the ball.
As I had someone explain to me with him yesterday, like you said, they're not asking him to do a lot, and they think that's the part that he can truly accept and kind of excel at. It takes time to get used to things. And for him, think about every locker room he's been in. He's been one of the top 3 guys that's been having to be relied upon, if not one of the top 2 highest paid guys on the team. So there is a certain amount of pressure that comes with that. I don't think he has that pressure on his team, which I think he's still kind of adjusting to. And I think he's done okay. There's been blips but there's also been high points, which happens throughout a season. I just think because once they got him, everything becomes so condensed at this time of year, you kind of take too much away from each outing that he has.
Mm-hmm.
His best game was his first game for the Clippers, right?
He looked incredible. Like, he looked incredible.
He
Talk about the Utah game?
Yeah. Literally his first his first actual game.
Dude,
Diamond
Boots
against
up.
Utah. Who'd have thunk it?
Well, actually, it was that stretch before he got hurt. It wasn't just the Utah game where he was making passes that nobody else on the team could make other than James. He was pushing the ball in transition. He was grabbing rebounds. He was defending like a madman. And I just feel like after he came back from getting hurt, that level of execution hasn't been there. He's looked more timid than he did. He looked super confident in his role those first 3-4 games or whatever it was. And the reintegration process has just been really difficult for him, it feels like.
To Joseph's point, he had a 25-2 assist to turnover ratio before he got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
It's 31-12 since then, which isn't terrible, but it's obviously a far cry from where he was at.
Okay, yeah. 31-12. Yeah, sure. Very common assist to turnover ratio that we have to deal with.
It's not
3-1 is garbage. Get out of here.
Yeah, well,
get out of here.
I saw
Ben
someone
Simmons
say,
jersey about to be bought as soon as I get back home.
You're snagging one?
I'm snagging the Benz. So right now with the new jerseys, I only have in the new jerseys. Adam Osland, you're gonna love this. The only jersey I have with the new shipping the crosshair jersey era that we in is a Zubac red.
Okay.
That's the only one I have.
That's a beautiful jersey.
Here's what I need. I need a DJJ blue and I need a Ben Simmons white.
Sure. Yeah.
You know Ben's a free agent this summer, right?
I mean, it is my my MO that I buy the jersey and then the players get traded.
That's true.
Wall, my only authentic like game play jersey is a T-Man. So I kind of see.
That's great. Yeah.
Who do we really want off the team?
Drew
Eubanks.
That's my man. He ain't going. I'm not getting it. That's my man right there.
That's my guy.
That's kind of mean. Does anyone care about jersey superstitions in here?
100%, dude.
As Will shakes his head, no.
Sixth of us do.
What color are they playing on Saturday?
Are they wearing salmon polos for the real bubbleheads?
That one I agree with.
Those was tough.
Bro, the salmon polo, I don't have the skin tone for the salmon polo, but I would like one as a memory.
Chuck, you remember we were golfing a lot. We were golfing a lot at that time, and I tried my best. I was asking all of my connects with the team, like, how do I get the salmon polo?
And they were like, 101, tailored for each.
Yeah, for real.
Tailored for each.
Tailored for Brian Shaw.
That salmon polo goes right up in the rafters alongside the Pioneers Blake Griffin shirt.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Which I have.
I do too. That's a collector's item. You got to keep that.
Yeah, V's visor should go up next to both of them, actually.
That should get a statue. That should get a statue.
Yeah, if they get a ring this year, V gets a statue. All right, Justin, what's the superstition?
So to answer Adam's question, they're wearing red for the first two games. If anyone takes superstitions of jerseys seriously, which there is one player on the team who does, if you buy into that, on the road this year in the red jerseys, the Clippers were 4-5.
Damn.
Which sounds bad, but it's actually not terrible. They were 7-11 in the white jersey. They were 9-5 in the blue jersey on the road. They were 9-1 in the red jerseys at home, which is why you're kind of hoping, all right, wear the red jerseys at home. But they're wearing them on the road. Games 3 and 4, they are wearing their blue, the icon blue, not the city edition, the icon blue. They went 10-4 at home in those. So if you care about that, there you go.
So we're gonna call those the Crippers.
Yeah.
And then the Reds are the Blippers.
The Blippers. Yeah. They're covering all bases. This is the branding strategy for the LA Clippers.
The whites are the Trumpers.
Yeah. I was gonna say we could put a W in front of it, but it would sound weird.
If you just go off of jerseys, there's a chance they're up 3-1 after game 4.
Let's go.
There we go.
Justin, you took that anonymous poll in the locker room about MVP, right?
Yes, I did.
And they said Jokic?
They went Jokic. The prevailing thought at the end of the voting was 9-6 of the 16 players polled, 9 Jokic, 6 Shea. There was one abstention who said he had them even. And then I polled one of the 2 remaining players the next day because I was finally able to get him. He said Jokic. So it turned out to be 10-6 in favor of Jokic.
Who do we think abstained?
I can't tell you that.
Yeah,
I know. I'm saying, who do we think? I didn't ask you who abstained. I think it was Zoo.
I'll jump in. I think it was Nico.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Very diplomatic.
Is Bogey, his Serbian brother.
Oh, that's a good call. Yeah. All right. We got to get out of here. But Carl, because you joined the pod, we have to interview someone who we haven't talked to in a very long time.
Yeah.
How is the Curse doing? He has had kind of a difficult year so far.
My Clips at heart.
Being the 5 seed after what may have, I don't know. How is the Curse doing? Have you seen him?
Bonjour. Bonjour, mademoiselle. Bonjour.
Bonjour, Curse.
Hello, boys. Justin,
hey, Curse.
Justin Russo. We've also been compared to each other.
Wait, are Justin's lips moving right now?
Now, boys. Let's be nice here. Let's be kind to me. I've had a very tough year. I was in Vegas all of summer, setting betting lines, and I had some insider trade info. And I was like Marjorie Taylor Greene. I bought in the dip, and I lost big time.
Oh, Curse.
Oh, man.
Because these fucks decided that they wanted to win 50 games. Can you believe this? Can you believe?
Some of us can believe it, Curse. Do you think it'll translate to any kind of playoff success?
Not if I have anything to do with it.
Ooh, I don't like that.
I don't like that.
Let's say we're going red, and then blue, and then white. I like the order.
Oh, no! Okay, well, we got to switch this up a little bit. Are you traveling for any of the games, Curse? Are you going to be in Denver or LA? Where do you even live, I guess?
What's funny is I live in the Mile High City. I used to play for the Broncos.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that makes sense.
Were you like a
little cannon for you folks?
That's cool. Are you?
Well, they used to lose a lot of Super Bowls, so.
I retired in 1997.
Yeah, makes sense. That tracks.
Okay, so how are you? What's your pick for this series?
Unfortunately, I am feeling a bit under the weather, and I think the boys may just pull it off.
Ooh. Okay.
Ooh, optimistic Curse.
I have a bad case of cursevid.
Ooh.
Oh no!
Well, hey, don't get the shot for that because I don't think the curse vid.
Do you think the Curse would ever get the jab?
Sure. I didn't really. I hope the other curses are okay, and this isn't some kind of curse vid pandemic that you and your community's going through.
It's a pandemic. You got to think with your third eye. We started this, and we're coming out with a vengeance. You got our boy RFK in there.
Sure,
he comes to party with us.
Well, are you friends? Are you
had
friends?
a bear meat festival recently, huh?
Are you friends with the new curse in Dallas? Do you have a brother or something who moved to Dallas?
Yes. I have a brother who played for the Cowboys. He plays for them currently.
Oh, yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, for sure.
We're a football family.
Yeah, you just pivoted to basketball, Curse.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. You expanded the business. Well, Curse, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I hope you continue to stay under the weather, and I hope that but I weirdly hope your prediction is right and that the Clippers win the first round.
Wow. Wouldn't that be fantastic?
For some.
And then
for us, I think.
And then we play. Would we potentially play the Wolves at a certain point? Because I know someone who I really love is on that team.
I think some things would have to go the Wolves' way mostly.
Yeah.
His
They would
name
have
is
to be
Joe Ingles.
okay.
Oh God.
Now okay. I don't like where this is going.
All right,
Curse.
Curse.
We're gonna let you get back to your curse chicken noodle soup and your curse oximeter, whatever you're using.
I'm taking curse CMOS. I'm not getting the. I'm not getting the jab.
I think all ivermectin is cursed. So I think okay, we got all right. Curse, get out of here.
I'm
Where did our friend Carl go?
I'm immunized.
Okay, Curse. Oh,
What's up,
Carl.
What's up, Kelly?
Hey,
We were
Carl.
lost.
Things got really scary while you were gone.
Holy
What?
shit.
Really spooky, man.
I went to go look for my cowboy hat.
Damn.
I know it's around here somewhere.
Dude, if you get the Clippers, if you pulled up to a game in the Clippers cowboy hat.
Oh my gosh! So have you been seeing these cowboy hats that have been made with like baseball logos?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I want a ship in the crosshair cowboy hat so bad.
Yeah, that's pretty tight.
And the boots to match.
Hell yeah! Got my boots on the ground.
All right. We have to get out of here. Any last words from this round table of Clippers? I'm going to use the first word that popped in my head. Geniuses about game one, Clippers versus Nuggets. Russo, we'll start with you because you're in the top left.
Prediction for game one, is that what you said?
Anything you want to say about game one? Could be about the jerseys, could be about the curse, could be about the food.
I'm interested to go there. I'll be in Denver for the first two games.
Oh, let's go. Definitely
Beautiful
clouds
this
hot
time of
now.
My guy's got a roast.
I'm flying in early Saturday morning, so that'll be a long day. But
Well, thank you for being there.
I'm not excited. My one thing about game one, I'm not excited. It's an afternoon game, but
Mhm.
whatever. What are you gonna do?
All right. I like that attitude about
I
this
will
one.
say this: they did slay the national TV and afternoon demon on Sunday.
Mhm.
Oh, great call.
So
All right. I like that.
everything's coming up Millhouse, and I found my AirPods yesterday. So
Wow.
that is even bigger coming up
Holy
Millhouse.
shit. All right. We're going to go counterclockwise because that's how the guests go. Joseph Raya-Ward, thank you so much for being here. Any final thoughts about this game or series?
Listen, bro, the Clippers are going to set the tone in game one and blow the Nuggets out.
All right. We got Clippers, bro. Got the man. I haven't Clippers, bro. I miss you, man. You've had a pretty good year.
Yeah.
Carl Tart, final thoughts about Clippers Nuggets game one or the series as a whole?
I just want to say shout out Zoo, man. We rooting for you. Don't let us down in this moment, okay? You've been playing great this season. And if you one slip up, Zoo, one slip up, I am
Just
on
carry that
Adam's
jersey
ass.
in half.
Save Adam's ass. Save Adam's Assland. Okay? I am
got-
on him.
You got Zoo jersey here. You got a pair of scissors right here.
Yeah,
Every single
I'm
game.
ready. I got a big oil tank, what is it called? It's canister.
Oil drum.
Oil
drum,
drum.
yeah.
Then I'm gonna throw that goddamn jersey in and set it the fuck on fire.
All right. Zoo, you've been warned. William Updike. Final thought.
I'm going to shout out James Harden and say he's going to change the narrative. And I'm more saying this to motivate him that because he did have a couple of great playoff games there in Philly. But let's change the narrative, buddy. Let's make this great. Come out, stomp on him game one. Let's go.
Hell
Make
yeah.
the Clippers great again. William Updike.
Yeah, man. This podcast fucking veered in the last 15 minutes into a direction we quite literally never go. Yeah, I cannot wait for game one. It's an afternoon game. I like what you said, Russo, about overcoming those demons. I cannot wait to see playoff Kawhi. Cannot wait to see Nick Batum either. It's going to be a good time. I'm going to be in the Bay Area for this, so we'll do a stream on Sunday. We'll see what happens. Adam, you could do one positive thing. You can say whatever you want. Final takes for this series or game, whatever you feel like.
Can't be our year if it's not our series. Let's go.
Wow.
Let's go. All right. That wraps
That
it
is so
up.
prophetic.
Thank you to everyone for hanging out. Thank you to the wonderful guests, Carl Tart, Joseph Raya-Ward, Justin Russo. Adam and Will and I are here most of the time. We'll be doing a stream on Sunday. Here's to a good-ass game.